hey, you, it's me, Jay.
And me, Sean.
And we've got something a little different for you today.
Okay, what?
Well, as you well know, Sean, because you were there, we had a YouTube first today. We attended a YouTube funeral. No joke, this is the time of COVID. We're trying to be good social distancers. And Sean's granny passed away on Sunday, so today we had her funeral online.
Yes, we did.
Unsponsored by YouTube. I mean, I assume the production values were low.
They were.
Yeah.
They tried.
They
had.
Did they?
I mean, there were a few technical issues.
Sound issues.
But overall, it was nice.
It was a nice ceremony. Now, Sean, it is Sean's granny, but I loved her too. In fact, and leave it to the grandmothers. Shout out to the grandmothers out there who were so very welcoming. Because as you might guess, this is a bit of
it's a lot for my family.
Yes. Sean
We're very
comes
conservative.
Yes. And
like,
I am
consistent
super not.
across the board.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So I'm a splash of color in their family. Ironic, since I'm sure I'm the palest one, but I'm a colorful character, I think is how probably I'm euphemistically described.
Something like that, yeah among others.
That's right. But his two grandmothers, and he is a middle-aged man who's been lucky enough to have two living grandmothers this whole time.
My whole life.
Sunday. Yes, your whole life. That's right. Good for you. You never lost them. Took really good care.
I tried.
And so, yes, Granny and Grandma were very sweet to me since day one, and always want to know what color my hair is and what new tattoos I have. And Granny in particular sized me up and knew we were kindred spirits. We have a passion for chunky jewelry.
Yes.
And Granny, in fact, and I don't know at what age this becomes a thing, but she just loved purple, so I'm wearing purple today.
Not quite.
She loved purple, so she just started dressing exclusively in purple. And I feel like that's probably, like, you can't really declare that until the second half of your life, and even then...
I agree.
Yeah. There's got to be some bar, and they haven't told us yet.
And I think it's past retirement.
Yes.
I don't think it's just age 65, you're done work, you can just wear purple now. It's something more than that.
It is.
And Granny was at that stage.
Yes, she was.
For a long time.
Yeah, I mean, she was 96 when she died,
Yep.
but she had a crazy good spirit. She was an indomitable woman.
Yes, she was.
So, we
Very-
do have a lot in common.
Very active and
Absolutely.
very energetic.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Her service was basically just a list of activities. And it was all
long.
of them. Yeah, they ticked a lot of boxes. So I thought it would be fun, since, we're her favorite assholes, I'm pretty sure.
We must be.
Hopefully. To take a little trip down memory lane.
Okay.
And take a look at Granny's life in movies.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like I said, she was 96 when she passed. That means she was born in 1923. That is a long friggin' time ago. When you think about how quickly 2023 will come, yeah, that's nearly that's a century. That is a lot of history.
Let's just round it up. That's 100 years ago.
Yeah. That is a crazy long time ago. So if you were wondering what the #1 movie at the box office was the day she was born.
Did they even have movies?
They did, Sean, they did. Thank you for asking. They did. It was the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh.
Not the Disney version.
The Lon Chaney version?
That is correct,
wow.
Yes. Poor Lon Chaney humping around with a 15-pound plaster hump on his back. Incredible prosthetics. Teeth, his real-life doctor helped make the prosthetics. Yeah, brought in a dentist and everything. And the poor guy's just humped around the set for months. And that is a true fact, they shot movies for a really long time there because he was only making $2,500 a week, which I'm sure actually was a lot of money back then. But
like 10
it
cars
filmed so long that by the end he had made $60,000, which,
wow,
you know,
yeah,
in 1923 dollars,
yeah,
was a lot.
That's Roosevelt money.
Oh yeah, baby. The extras, and they needed a lot of extras. They were shooting overnights mostly. They needed like 1,000 extras. Those extras were paid only $1 a night plus meals. So who shows up to volunteer for a night shoot for meals? Well, prostitutes.
Yeah.
Prostitutes and thieves, as it turns out. There were lots of those. So in fact, the studio then hired like 50 detectives to just mill about the crowd and find the pickpockets. They were not looking for the prostitutes, who I heard did quite a nice little side business. So yeah, they were hustling.
Well, even back then.
Even back then. And another high point for crime, I guess, is that just a regular detective who watched the movie in theaters spotted a wanted fugitive among that crowd. So truly, it was a rough and tumble crowd of extras.
It's a bit of a different era, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I guess that didn't occur to the people at the time. Like, this is being recorded and someone might recognize me.
That's right. So, this movie is so old that the original copyright owner allowed it to lapse into the public domain, which is why there are actually lots and lots of copies of this movie, and they're all super bad. They're all super low quality copies. In fact, it was shot on 16mm film, and there's a good 15-minute chunk that's just gone. It's just missing. So it would be impossible to have a really good copy of it because of that. But chances are, if you ever saw it, it was a terrible copy, and sorry. But this film, and this is super exciting, you might want to write this down, was the first ever to use intercom technology on the set. That's right. Yeah, they could call each other to set.
And it still took them so long to film. This did not speed things up at all.
It's very sad. So that movie was actually number 3 for the year. Number 2 was The 10 Commandments.
Okay.
Not the one you're thinking.
Not the Charlton Heston, no.
And number 1, The Covered Wagon, which sounds like a real good time.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, who else was born in 1923? I know you're asking.
Yes.
Anne Baxter, who, Sean, I know you will remember for her Oscar-winning performance in The Razor's Edge. Okay, maybe for her Oscar-nominated performance in All About Eve as Eve.
No.
What?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, if I didn't know that Granny was cremated, I would say she's rolling over in her grave right now, Sean. How dare you?
Yeah, that's on me.
Okay. Well, does it excite you if I tell you she was in The 10 Commandments starring Charlton Heston? That one.
Okay.
You know that one?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. How about the Adam West Batman years?
Yes.
She played Zelda the Great, a villain.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So finally we have
a reference that I can understand.
Okay. Also born in 1923, Lord Richard Attenborough.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Big brother to Davy.
Yeah.
So Attenborough, I didn't know this. He joined the Royal Air Force in World War II, and he was training as a pilot, but he got shunted over to a brand new division called film. Yeah. So they decided, hey, we're gonna produce some movies. We're gonna film some shit, guys, and we're gonna train you up to do it. So he just stuck with it once he got out of the army.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So as an actor, you may know him from such films as Brighton Rock, The Great Escape, The Sand Pebbles, Dr. Dolittle. Not that one. No, this is the 1968 version with Rex Harrison. But I know Sean will want to tell you. Oh, Sean didn't want to tell you. He was in Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I forgot
What
about
is
that.
with you today?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He's the doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. John Hammond.
Yes.
Sean.
I forgot about that.
Oh, I'm so disappointed
Yes,
in you.
you would be.
He also played Santa Claus in the Miracle on 34th Street remake.
One of the remakes, yeah.
Well, the 90s one
most
following
recent one.
his huge career revival in Jurassic Park.
It makes sense. And he does kind of look like a good Santa.
So, as a director, he achieved all kinds of success in that area too. He did A Bridge Too Far. He directed Robert Downey Jr. in Chaplin, of course, and was nominated for 8 Oscars for his film Gandhi, including Best Picture and Best Director. So good for him, right?
Good for him, very productive.
Yes. Also born in 1923, Charlton Heston, the man himself.
Oh.
Ben-Hur, Planet of the Apes, really stupid views about guns. Charlton Heston, 1923, just like your grandma.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if they knew each other.
Well, there's no ruling it out, is there?
Oh, no.
Let's just speculate wildly.
Might as well.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Kind of it is, isn't it,
That's
Sean?
why I'm here.
So then I was curious, Granny, what movie might she have seen when she was 10 years old?
Okay.
And it turns out Little Women was what was playing at the box office when she turned 10.
Oh.
Now, it is not the first Little Women adaptation, but it was the first with sound.
That's a big deal.
That's the one with Katharine Hepburn in it. So there had been 2 silent ones released before. This has been adapted a few times. In fact, 5 times just in Granny's life.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. So she would have paid about 10 cents for the ticket. Of course, there was no sound until 1927. That was the first movie that had sound. So she was already 4 years old. She was born in a silent film era.
Yeah. That is a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I once asked my mother if she always had color TV, and she was so insulted. So you gotta be careful with what you're accusing people of, but
this is a fact.
this is a fact. If she went to the movies to celebrate her sweet 16, you know,
As you
perhaps before or after a milkshake,
Yeah.
soda, she could have seen Another Thin Man. Another Thin Man? I did not know there was Another Thin Man. I knew about the Thin Man.
Mm-hmm.
This is Another Thin Man. And I don't even know if you will believe the plot of this movie, but let me lay it on you.
Yeah.
An explosives manufacturer suspects a young man is out to kill him. So who does he call?
Batman?
New parents, Nick and Nora.
Oh.
So, number 1, doesn't having a newborn hamper your murder skills?
Yeah, I would think so.
You know? And number 2, do they have an infinite playlist?
Ooh. That is the
Is this
question.
in fact Mr. and Mrs. Smith plus Baby Driver plus 3 Men and a Baby?
Before any of those movies came out.
That's right.
It's like someone traveled back in time to make this movie.
It does.
For some reason.
I mean, we better not fuck with that, Sean, for the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
You may not exist if this movie hadn't played in theater, so careful.
Yes.
Okay. Also, that very year, when she was 16, would have been the first real movies with color.
Okay.
So there had been a couple of experiments, but nothing big in theaters. So 1939 was both The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That's a big year.
Potentially a really big year for little teenage girls going to the movies.
If they even did that. I don't know. I don't know if movie going was a thing.
Well, it's always been a thing.
Yeah,
yes.
that's true.
I don't know. You didn't hear about this?
This Gone with the Wind thing?
Yeah.
I guess. Good point.
Okay.
Okay.
So, if your grandparents took in a movie on their honeymoon,
Yes.
they could have seen Miracle on 34th Street.
The
Isn't
original?
this funny how this keeps working? But
Yeah.
yes,
Well, I just didn't know if there was a
Yes.
silent version of that.
that one, Sean. And I wondered, would they have gone to the drive-in? But in fact, the first real drive-in wasn't really around until the 1930s. But it didn't get popular and it didn't get proliferate until the 1950s. So your grandparents would have been a young couple. If they had gone with your dad being a newborn, they may have seen Father of the Bride.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So all these young families, you had kids, so you couldn't, like, these are all the baby boomers. This is actually post-war, booming those babies out.
Yes.
And needing to buy big cars to fit the whole family in there, and so...
And also because you just wanted to have 2 tons of Detroit steel.
Sure, yeah, chugging along on those beautiful highways.
Yep.
Yeah. So had your grandfather taken her out for her 40th birthday, she might have seen Elvis in Fun in Acapulco.
She probably did.
Now, this was the last Elvis movie before Beatlemania hit, so it is treasured because of that reason. Has anyone seen this movie, by the way? If you have seen any of these movies, you need to let us know. Fun in Acapulco is about, Elvis plays Mike. Which, I don't know, can you
play
even believe?
Elvis.
Yeah.
Just play
much.
Elvis.
So, a yacht owner's spoiled daughter gets him fired from his job. So, he gets a new one at the Acapulco Hotel.
The one and
as
only.
a singer, luckily, for all you fangirls out there. And he immediately steals the lifeguard's girl, making an enemy, and somehow depriving him of 3 work hours a day. I don't understand how that was.
I don't know that
it was
math.
Literally in the plot synopsis of the movie. They needed you to know that. Docked the poor guy of his wages and his girl. P.S. The girl is a bullfighter.
Oh.
Didn't see it coming.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but you need to look it up. I think that is a movie that needs to be seen.
Sounds
possibly
like it.
right after Another Thin Man.
Back to back at the drive-in.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so on her 50th birthday, Disney's Robin Hood was in theaters.
I remember that movie.
Yeah.
That's the first one I think I have seen on this list. Here we are.
So she.
No, I saw Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay, good. You're not totally
I'm
worthless.
pretty bad still.
Yeah. On her 75th birthday, A Bug's Life.
Okay.
Ooh. And on her 90th birthday, Hunger Games Catching Fire.
For sure she saw that one.
Yeah. I mean, I always think, like, at what point do people just quit going to the movies? I mean, I know when you quit buying music, but when do you quit going to the movies?
Yeah, it was before 90, I'm sure of it.
But not for Grandma.
No?
No, I know Grandma saw Filomeno.
Oh, my mom took her.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So there you have it. When she was born, there were no Oscars. The Oscars didn't start till 1929. So that's kind of a crazy thing.
It is.
She is older
that
than
for
the
granted.
Oscars, yeah. So this year, she will have died among Fred Willard, also passed away. Jerry Stiller also passed away. They were mere babies compared to Granny. But Kirk Douglas, who died at the age of 103. 103!
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
These people just living forever. And of course, number 1 at the box office when she died, nothing. Isn't it crazy that she lived 100 years and it will be this year that goes down in the history books?
Yeah, we talk about pandemics since you've raised it. The Spanish flu was in 1918 and was probably still going on when she was born.
Second wave, y'all.
Yeah. So, that's a thing.
It's a thing. Write it down.
Write it down. There's some fact there.
There's a fact there, probably. I mean, yeah, this woman lived through a lot. And certainly will be remembered for a lot.
Absolutely. Oh, she lived life.
Mm-hmm.
She was always ready to go on an adventure, whatever that was. I'm going to miss that.
Mm-hmm. Even in her last decade.
Yeah, even
You know.
when she's in her 90s, she wants to go up to my parents' cottage and go kayaking. And she
broke
does.
her hip in Scotland.
Yeah, as she's traveling the world,
Yeah.
which again she was doing in her 90s.
That's right. We visited her in the rehab place, and she was studying for her driver's test.
Oh, yeah.
That was Granny.
Yep, that was
She
great.
was a fearless woman, just blazing trails, pretty much literally.
Yep.
She was a big nature
Very
walker,
big.
hiker,
Loved
birder,
it. Yeah,
if I may say.
you may. She loved birds.
Mm-hmm.
She had birds all over her house, on the wall, on her plates.
Her t-shirts.
Yeah.
Gotta love
her
those
jewelry
YouTube slideshows,
sometimes.
y'all.
Yeah.
That's right. So, Granny gone, but not forgotten. Not by a long shot.
Not by a
She
long shot.
left behind, grandkids galore,
Yeah.
who take up a lot of space in the world, it should be
Yeah,
said.
I'm one of the smaller ones.
And great-grandkids. Quite a bushel of them.
And a lot of them, yeah.
Hmm. Good for Granny.
Absolutely.
So yes, we are very sad that she's gone, and it's almost not quite real because
It's not yet.
you
no.
know, grandparents you see and you hug when you have family time. And we didn't live in the same city as her anyways, but especially now we can't even
We're not seeing
travel
anyone.
and be together. Yeah.
So we will, that's when it will really hit home, is
Mhm.
when we have the next big thing that she should be at,
Hmm.
and there'll be an empty chair.
And hers is a presence that will be missed. It will
Absolutely.
be noted.
Yeah, ray of
She
sunshine.
was always in the middle of whatever family shindig was going on.
Yeah,
She was the heart of it.
yeah.
So we definitely miss her. I think it's incredible to look back at that life and see how much has changed, born into a silent black and white era, and came all this way into Technicolor 3D, and then finally empty theaters.
Yeah.
So goodbye, Granny. We
Bye,
miss
Granny.
you and we love you.
Yeah, we love you.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.